Hello everyone and welcome again to another product video from VisionAid Technologies. Today we're going to look at handheld video magnifiers, and I've got a small selection here. They all fall into the same category of handhelds. They all run off rechargeable batteries. But some of them, obviously the larger ones, you need two hands to operate, where the smaller ones are more ideal for some of them have handles on if you want to take it shopping or use it when you're out and about. Okay, so just to explain the difference between electronic video magnifiers and the more traditional sort of optical magnifiers that you might get from the low vision clinic or the hospital. An optical magnifier is normally each unit is one magnification, so you can't adjust that. So if you for example buy a ×3 and then you need it larger or smaller, you have to then buy another magnifier, and then you end up with a bag or pocket full of these things. Where electronic magnifiers, you can press a button to zoom in or press a button to zoom out. So you can increase or decrease the magnification just by pressing a button. You can also enhance the image on an electronic video magnifier to suit your eye condition. So if you prefer bright white text on a dark black background, or yellow text on a black background, or any other colour combination, then you can select that as your preferred reading colours on an electronic magnifier. So the first one we're going to look at is the HandyReader HD. It's got a 3.5-inch display here, buttons to control the magnification and colour, and then it's also got a removable rechargeable battery here. So if in a few years time you did have any trouble with the battery, it doesn't have to come back to a workshop, you can just swap it out yourself. And the battery life is about 3.5 hours. And then the charger plugs in here. Like I said, it's got a 3.5-inch display, and this unit will go all the way down to 2 times magnification, all the way up to 24. Although on this size screen, once you start to get high magnification, you really should be looking at a larger screen, because the larger the screen, effectively, then obviously the less you have to magnify it, so the more information you get on. This is the nice small one it's ideal for taking to the shops, for looking at prices or quickly checking something. So here I can change the magnification, and the lower button here I can just tap to get whatever reading colour I prefer. You can also freeze the image. So if this was important information I just wanted to go and check, or if it was a telephone number or something, I can then press the button on the magnifier to lock that information on the screen. So then I can take the magnifier away and maybe take it to the phone and dial it, or go and show someone the information that I have. And then when I finish, just tap it, the same button again, and it releases it. So there you go, that's the HandyReader HD, small little 3.5-inch magnifier. Now we're going to look at the ID. So this is the next one up from a HandyReader, next size. It's the 4.3-inch display, so slightly larger. It's got a wider magnification range. It will go from ×2 to ×32. And it's got a battery life of around 4 hours. And it weighs about 217 grams, about 7.6 ounces. So it's a nice lightweight magnifier. It's also got a nice fold out handle, so it can be used flat on the page, or you can fold out the handle. So you can hold it like a normal magnifier. Right, so let's switch on the ID. And again, I can place it directly onto the text. And it's beautifully simple to use. The top button increases the magnification, the bottom one reduces, so we can go right up to 32 and down to 2. And then the button on this side, simply just by tapping it, simply cycles around the different reading colours. You can fold the handle out. So if you prefer to hold it like a normal magnifier, you can. So that's holding that there. Really small print on the medication there. And much easier and clearer to read than with a normal magnifying glass. And that's the ID. Right, so now we're going to look at the Clover V5. So this has got a lovely 5-inch display, so a nice large display for a handheld. Nice simple controls, and if I quickly just turn it over, this one's got the optional handle fitted to it as well. So the handle on the Clover is an option, so you can hold it like a normal magnifier. There we go. So nice and simple again. Plus makes it larger, minus makes the information on the screen smaller, so zoom in and zoom out. And then there's a triangle button here with an arrow up and down, so it can go forwards through the different colour options, or backwards through the different colour options. So I've got full colour for looking at pictures, and then enhanced colours for reading. And again, you can just got the same freeze frame on as the other units. And a good range of magnification on the Clover, from 3 all the way up to 30 times magnification. It's got 4 hours battery life, and it weighs 210 grams, which is about 7.4 ounces. It's also got a stand at the back here, which flips out, so you can have it at an angle. Doesn't work so well on lower magnification levels. We get what we call a Star Wars effect, but works very well on higher levels of magnification. Right, so we're now going to look at the latest addition to our handheld range, the Clover 6, with the 6-inch screen, which the name suggests. It's a nice matte finish screen as well on this one. And this has got a handle on the back of it as well, so you can hold it like a normal magnifier. And the handle's got multiple positions as well, so whether you're holding it in your left or your right hand, it's still comfortable. If I fold the handle in, it also acts as a stand, so you can then stand it and it angles the screen so then it looks up at you for more comfortable reading. The Clover's got a really wide magnification range from 1.5 times to 35 times. It's got a 3-hour battery life and it weighs 265 grams or 9.3 ounces. It's got a nice quick boot up time, so it comes on very quickly. We've got the zoom and magnification controls here, increase and decrease. We've got the freeze the image on the screen here. And then we've got controls for changing the background and foreground colours. So this one controls that, and this one takes it straight back to full colour for looking at pictures. So nice and easy. And then this one here, this button here, we can bring on a reading line. I'll just put that into a lighter colour. So that's a reading line you can use as a guide. You can also have a vertical line if you're doing columns, or you can have line markers or blinds, so you can limit what you can see. And on this one, it's also got a nice touchscreen on it, so I can zoom in and out using the touchscreen. Take the markers off. Or I can use the buttons. I can use either. So whichever one I prefer, I can use. And I can also pan around the image as well, which is really nice. Also on the Clover 6, you've got HDMI output as well, so you can connect it to a larger screen. So you can have it going to your television or a computer monitor. Like all good quality magnifiers as well, the Clover 6, along with all the other ones we've looked at, has got continuous zoom. So when it zooms in and out and changes magnification, it doesn't go in steps. It goes a continuous zoom of magnification, so there are no gaps. And it's also full autofocus. It doesn't matter where I hold the magnifier on this. I can hold it further away, which is really useful if you want to look at things like cooker controls or anything where you also may need to get your hand underneath, or you're looking at trying to look at something on a supermarket shelf that's a bit further away. So now we're going to look at the Clover 7S HD. It's its full title. This is a 7-inch magnifier. This has got a stand around the outer edge here, which I just pull it back, so then it sits and the screen is then angled up to face me. If I rotate it around this way as well, you can see that the camera here, when the stand's folded in, is flat and looking at a distance, and when I angle it out, it looks down at the page. So I can then hold the magnifier and use it if I want to look into the garden or watch television with it, or look at anything in the distance with it. I can hold it up in front of my face and then zoom in and watch it. Right, so let's switch the Clover on. The Clover 7S HD has a magnification range of 2.4 to 30. Its battery lasts for about 3 hours. And the weight of the unit is 420 grams, which is 14.8 ounces. And nice simple controls as well. I've got a plus here to increase magnification, a minus to decrease the magnification. And then I've got the button on the left will cycle around the various reading colours. And then the button on the right takes it to very quickly to full natural colours without having to go around the loop to get back to the full colour. There's some picture of some tomatoes there. I could just tap this one here, straight back to full colour. It's also got a little joystick here, control. So as you zoom in, just put it in enhanced mode there. As you zoom in, I can pan around the information using the joystick. I can use the joystick to pan across. You can adjust the speed of that as well. And if I then quickly want to return back to the beginning of the text, I don't have to pan back. I can just press the plus and the minus together, and it instantly jumps straight back to the beginning. So that's quite a nice feature too. You've also got things like I can put a reading line on that, which is a nice guide, and I can adjust the thickness and the position of that line on the screen. So I can use that as a guide as I'm tracking along. If I prefer, I can also use a vertical line if I'm going down columns of figures, or line markers or blinds if I want to limit how much information I can see at any one time. So that's the Clover 7S HD. Now we're going to take a look at the Clover 10. This is the larger brother of the Clover 7 that we've just looked at. So it's exactly the same features, same controls, everything's identical, apart from it's got a larger 10-inch display, so a lovely display. The Clover 10 has a magnification range of 2.5 up to 18 times. Its battery lasts 3 hours and the weight is 710 grams, which is 25 ounces. The only real main difference between these two, apart from the screen size, is also this one's got a self-facing camera here, so we can switch to that with the slider switch on top. So if you do want to use the magnifier as a mirror, you can do, and then you can zoom in and out and look at your face. Okay, so now we've looked at both the 7 and the 10-inch Clovers. Just going to move those out of the way. For both units, you can get an additional stand with a nice padded case. So just quickly grab that out of here. So this particular stand's for the 10. The same legs and everything comes on the one for the 7, but it's just a smaller chassis at the top here to fit the unit in. And it's just a case of folding in the normal stand on the Clover and literally just sliding the actual unit into the stand. There's no clips or anything, it's just straight in. Nice and simple. And it's great if you want to do any writing under the Clover, or if you want to read something like a book, because then you've got both hands free now to have under the magnifier, so you can hold it. You don't need to pass the magnifier over the top. So now you can do things under here. It's great for practical tasks as well. So if you're doing sewing or knitting or anything like that. If you want to use the Clover for distance use, if you were looking at something over this direction, you can flip the unit up here. You can look at the screen here and then look into the distance over there. So it's great for distance use. And you can adjust the legs. So if you're fitting it on a tray on your lap, you can adjust the distance on the legs here just by bringing them in slightly. And the stand folds up just as quickly as it was set up. So there, pull the Clover out, squeeze the two legs in, on either side like that, fold that up, that goes flat, and it's just as quick and easy as that. So that can either go back in its case or in a drawer out of the way. Right, finally, just to finish off, we're going to look at another 10-inch video magnifier, and it's the Compact 10. So it's got a fold-out stand similar to the Clover. One of the main differences on this one is that the only button on the Compact 10 is the power button. Everything else is controlled by this nice touchscreen here. The magnification on the Compact 10 will go up to 22 times. It lasts 3.5 hours on its batteries, and it weighs 915 grams, which is 32 ounces, something like that. So now we've got the Compact 10 turned on, nice clear image, and we can either pinch and zoom here to zoom in and out, or I can just tap the screen and then I get on-screen buttons. So I can press the plus to make it larger and the minus to make it smaller, and then just simply tap this button here to rotate around the different colours. A lovely unique feature about the Compact 10 also is it's also got this extending camera, which I'm just going to move this way. Clicks out like that. Okay, so this can be useful for placing documents here if you wanted to handwrite or sign something, because the camera's nice and high. You can also use the device for distance viewing as well, just by simply folding this stand in like that and holding the magnifier, and then you can use it for looking either outside or around the room. Another interesting feature of the Compact 10 is that other devices that use HDMI cables to connect to televisions, this uses a wireless mirrorcast system. So you can wirelessly transmit the picture from the device straight to another compatible device like a television. And there we go. Thanks for joining us on that little journey through just a small selection of what VisionAid have to offer with handheld video magnifiers. And if you need any further information, then please do get in touch. But thanks again for joining us. Bye.